Once upon a time, Halloween was simple: masks, candy, and spooky stories. But then, something changed. Pop culture got involved. Movies, music, and media transformed October 31st into something bigger, a global holiday of reinvention. Suddenly, costumes weren't about hiding. They were about revealing who we wished we could be. From witches to superheroes, from horror queens to internet icons, Halloween became a mirror reflecting what pop culture told us was powerful, beautiful, and worth watching. And over 5 decades, it evolved into the most seductive night of the year. This is how pop culture made Halloween sexy. The 1970s marked the moment Halloween grew up. For decades, it had belonged to kids: plastic masks, pillowcases of candy, and neighborhood parades. But the 1970s were an age of rebellion. The sexual revolution, disco, and midnight movies. Then came the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Suddenly, fishnets and corsets were mainstream, and dressing provocatively became a symbol of liberation. Elvira, the mistress of the dark, emerged as a pop culture icon, blending camp, horror, and humor into something entirely new: spooky, sexy, and self-aware. Meanwhile, in major cities, adults began throwing costume parties of their own, fueled by nightlife, music, and a taste for excess. The message was clear: Halloween was no longer just for kids. It was for anyone bold enough to play. The 1980s turned Halloween into a pop spectacle. Hollywood discovered that horror sold, and that style sold even more. Slasher films like Friday the 13th and A Nightmare on Elm Street gave us iconic villains, but also iconic aesthetics: ripped shirts, smoky eyes, and confidence. MTV made fashion theatrical. Madonna and Cyndi Lauper blurred gender lines, turning rebellion into runway. Clubs like Studio 54 made costume nights legendary: glitter, lace, leather, neon. Halloween started looking more like a movie premiere than a neighborhood event. People didn't just wear costumes anymore, they performed them. Pop stars and horror films collided, and out came a culture where the costume was the statement. The 1990s were a new kind of empowerment. Television gave us strong female archetypes: Buffy, Xena, and the Witches of the Craft. They weren't damsels, they were powerful, witty, and confident. Pop music added fuel. Britney Spears, the Spice Girls, and TLC showed that sexuality could coexist with independence. Halloween began reflecting that energy. Women weren't just dressing up as sexy, they were dressing up as powerful and sexy. Whether it was Cher from Clueless or a Spice Girl, the vibe was attitude first, costume second. Meanwhile, male costumes evolved too. Superheroes, rock stars, and movie villains got stylized. The message of the 90s Halloween was clear. Sexy wasn't submission, it was self-expression. Then came the 2000s, and the world's most quotable Halloween line: Halloween is the one night a year when a girl can dress like she wants, and no one can judge. That line from Mean Girls didn't just make people laugh, it defined an era. Sexy costumes were suddenly mainstream. Paris Hilton's annual Halloween parties set new standards for celebrity fashion. Retailers noticed, and so did Hollywood. The market flooded with sexy versions of everything: nurses, cops, superheroes, even cartoon characters. For the first time, big box stores sold confidence in plastic packaging. Critics called it exploitative, others called it empowering. But either way, sexy had gone commercial. Halloween was now a billion-dollar industry, built on pop culture, fantasy, and a little bit of rebellion. The 2010s brought a digital revolution. Social media didn't just change how we dressed, it changed why we dressed. Halloween became content. Influencers transformed their homes into studios, posting cinematic costume reveals that rivaled film productions. Kylie Jenner became Barbie. Ariana Grande recreated the Twilight Zone. Doja Cat went viral for hyperreal cosplay. Every Halloween became a competition for likes, shares, and headlines. The line between celebrity and audience blurred, because everyone with a camera could now join the spectacle. The result? the most creative, daring, and glamorous decade Halloween had ever seen. Sexy was no longer the goal, viral was. In the 2020s, Halloween is bigger than ever, and more inclusive than ever. TikTok trends dominate costume culture overnight. The Barbie movie redefined pink as power. Men joined the conversation, from Kencore to anime cosplays, from Spider-Man edits to gender-bent fantasy. Even AI joined in. Filters and digital costumes blurred reality itself. The sexy costume debate still rages on, empowerment or exploitation. But the truth is, it's personal now. For millions, Halloween is no longer about conforming. It's about creating. You can be whoever you want, however you want, and share it with the world instantly. Halloween has become a mirror of modern identity, bold, filtered, and unapologetic. 50 years ago, Halloween was for kids. Today, it's the world's biggest costume show, a cultural mirror for freedom, fantasy, and fame. From Elvira's corset to Barbiecore couture, every costume tells a story about who we are, and who we want to be. Pop culture didn't just make Halloween sexy, it made it a reflection of our imagination. And every October, the cycle begins again. This was an ENX1 Special. Which decade owned Halloween for you? Drop your answer in the comments. We might feature it next year. Subscribe for weekly deep dives into pop culture's biggest obsessions. This is NX1 Pop Culture. Happy Halloween.